Welcome to the 38th episode of the Mayor's Mixtape. I'm Haley Sue Robinson, Director of Public Affairs.
And I'm Heather Graham, City of Pueblo Mayor.
Great. I want to remind you, you can find this podcast on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Buzzsprout, wherever you get this podcast. You can also email us topic suggestions or questions, mayor@pueblo.us, and we'd be happy to discuss those topics. Mayor, big night in the city last night. The budget was passed. Feels like we've been talking about this for
6 months.
Yeah, like ad nauseum, but very happy to say that the budget passed. I know you and our finance director, Danny Nunn, presented the budget, and also you had an amendment that you presented as well. To freeze some positions and to save the money, save the city some additional money. Can you talk a little bit about that amendment?
Yeah, sure. So it was a budget amendment to freeze an additional 24 positions going into 2026 budget. So after the 1% sales tax didn't pass, the director of HR had come to me and, said that these are all of the open positions within the city. She did a cost savings analysis of potentially what it could save the city. We kind of talked through each of the positions to see, could those departments pick up the pieces and continue on without those positions. After some deliberation and talking to everybody, that's what we decided to do. So that was the amendment that was within the budget last night that came on behalf of the administration. So 24 positions, I think it was about $2.6 million overall. That's going to be a reduction in 2026's budget. So at one point, in the very first B1 that we had given City Council, we were at a little over a $12 million deficit. As of last night, I think we're at 9.8. So we've had some additional significant cuts since the first time the City Council saw the budget.
Sure. And I know last year you had abolished 18 positions. This year you had abolished 7. And abolishing positions versus freezing positions is different.
Abolish is, so that means they're gone, forever. Freezing means the position, the job description, everything is still within the department. Sure. There's just no funding allocated towards it in the budget.
Okay. And I saw a couple of questions on Facebook last night about, how long had these positions been open? Were they even positions we needed, or are they even necessary type of thing? So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, most of the positions were in progress, so already through interviews or applications, retirements, people leaving the city to work in other jurisdictions. So there was a couple of positions that were in the transportation department that have been open for about a year, and that is because we are changing the traffic code. And it was on first reading last night. It'll be on second reading first meeting in December. So that's probably our longest open position, but there are other engineers within the department who are capable, of fulfilling those job requirements right now, and they know the need to have to freeze and save the position. So, no, the positions have not been open for 5 or 10 years. These are positions that are actively, continuously rotating within the city. So the only positions that we didn't freeze were obviously police officers and firefighters. We froze office assistants within the police department.
Sure.
Anybody that was non-sworn. So it is a freeze overall, and it hit many different departments.
Okay, so it wasn't just one department in particular. No. It was kind of across the board in multiple departments.
Yep.
Okay, and that'll save the city an additional $2.6 million.
Yep.
Okay.
Big savings.
That's great.
Yeah.
And we had a couple of additional amendments by City Council. They failed overall when all of the amendments were put together to just pass the budget with those amendments, but then one by one, they each were passed individually.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had 4 additional amendments, which included $35,000 for workforce development funding, that was kind of tied to the economic dashboard. $200,000 for the Sky Corral, $50,000 allocated to 3 Boys and Girls Clubs of Pueblo County clubhouses. Those are within city limits. And then an additional $176,000 to the Pueblo Zoo, which brought their total funding to $944,000. So that was an additional roughly $460,000 added to the budget, and each one of those individually passed as well. A couple things from last night as well. It was a pretty long agenda. We had 13 items on second reading. Couple exciting things, actually. I should mention the Boone IGA with Southern Colorado Building Department. I know we're excited about that. Can you talk a little bit about what that process has been like?
Yeah, so since the county notified the city the first week in July that they were going to be going their separate ways and having their own building department, the city has been actively trying to recruit somebody to be the other partner for the city in the IGA. So, I mean, I've been to Bent, Cripple Creek, Victor, Canyon City, Fowler we've spoken to, a couple other different counties or municipalities close to us,
Sure.
Who have the sovereignty that they would be able to grant in the IGA to form the partnership, and Boone. And so we went to Boone on November 3rd, did a work session for their city council and community members. They liked what we had to offer. They had previously been served by Regional Building. They're part of our IGA with the county previously, and they wanted to keep it consistent. So we went back out on November 17th, and they agreed and signed the IGA. So
great.
It was a win for everybody. Boone really came in and saved the day for our community, because essentially it would have been pretty tough to create an entire building department,
Sure.
The permitting process, etc. So I think development would have come to a screeching halt because of the time frame that we had.
Sure.
In order to either create a new building department or find a partner. It was a pretty small time frame. So we're very thankful to the town of Boone.
Yeah, that's exciting. And I know our city attorney also mentioned there's opportunity for other folks to sign on to the IGA. So
yeah, it wasn't that the other communities that we visited didn't want to. It was just their time frame.
Sure.
It was too crunched for them to make that kind of a decision.
Yeah, but the door's still open if they want to make that decision in the future.
Yep, absolutely.
Great.
So city's going to be hosting a town hall on December 9th here at City Hall, Memorial Hall, from 5 to 7, I think is going to be the time where the public can come and ask questions. And we'll make sure we get everybody the answers that they need.
Right. Give them the opportunity to hear how the process is going forward and, like you mentioned, have their questions answered.
Yeah.
I think that'll be good. Great. Couple other things on last night's agenda. There was an annexation for 168.2 acres, the land north and south of William White, and north of 27th Lane, so out in
Industrial Park.
Yes. And that failed. What would that have been if we were able to pass that?
So all of that land out there has not been annexed into the city, and so the city's been looking at ways to generate additional tax dollars. So whether that's property tax or sales tax or use tax on new buildings that would be going up. Currently, PEDCO is using that as part of their incentive package to incentivize businesses to come into our community. But I think the problem lies when those businesses need services or public improvements.
Oh, sure.
Police, fire, roads, sidewalks, lights. You are not part of the city of Pueblo, so the city will not be providing the same services that we provide to other businesses. And so we've been looking at different properties within the industrial parkway to annex into the city so that they would have the services provided to them. They would also be responsible for property tax that they would have to pay the city and the county. And they would be responsible for use tax. So if you have a new manufacturing building coming in, the city would then be able to collect the tax for the building being built, in which we heard last night when I presented the budget that about 70% of the city's revenue is generated from sales tax. So sales tax is a huge deal. Use tax is a huge deal. So we've been looking at other ways to help with our budget deficits.
Right.
You know, Pedco came and spoke against, saying, well, you're going to cost jobs, you're going to this, you're going to that. But, what's interesting about it is I don't think that at this time we have seen an application formally submitted for any redevelopment on that property currently. So this whole thing about you're murking the contracts and X, Y, and Z, that's just simply not true.
So there's not a current contract that this...
There's not a current application that's been submitted. There's been talks about an existing company expanding, but the city has been talking about incentives with the company. So the city would be providing dollars for them to redevelop the site, add additional square footage and buildings, and I think that a good partnership would be that the city would get something back in return for potentially giving our land, potentially providing economic development dollars to incentivize per jobs. And so the actual city of Pueblo doesn't receive anything back on that land, on anything built or anything shipped, right? So if they're manufacturing out of the community and those goods aren't staying in the community, they also don't pay sales tax on anything that's being built out there. So Pedco's argument, from what I could make of it last night, was that these jobs that they would be bringing, those people would live in the community and they would spend their money in the community, which is true to a point, but we have a lot of businesses in the industrial park with employees who do not live in the city of Pueblo, do not spend their money in the city of Pueblo. Quite frankly, they live in like Fountain or Colorado Springs and they drive here every day. So I think that the city is looking to encompass the entire project and what that looks like from start to finish and make sure that we are collecting every dollar that we potentially can collect and that the partnership is a mere reflection and not just the city providing cash, land, and you not have to pay property or sales tax.
Got it. Okay.
Sorry, that was a lot.
No.
I'm very passionate about it.
I can tell.
Yeah.
Okay. So, unfortunately, we won't have all those things that you just mentioned.
Back. Okay. We'll bring it back and have a wider discussion. It's not just that property that we spoke about last night. There's a lot of property out there.
Okay.
That needs to be annexed back into the city.
Sure.
So we can provide services. If you ever travel on William White, it's like a raceway.
Yeah.
Out there.
It is.
Some parts are city, some parts are county, some parts are state.
Right.
And so I think that this could be just a tool for these businesses that are currently in the industrial park if the city was able to provide infrastructure and resources.
Great. Okay. We also had a couple ordinances that failed last night. We also had the ordinance for the healthy beverage option for restaurants that failed 4-3.
Yeah.
I know both you and Councilor Boston as restaurant owners talked about that. It was controversial, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, you want kids to drink milk or pop or water? I mean, that's...
Sure.
It's just the default if people want to order pop or water or milk or juice.
Yeah.
At my restaurants, we have apple juice, so the default would just be water or milk, the healthier option.
Yeah.
Don't really see what the big deal is, but as a restaurateur, I think it's a doable to put milk or water as the default option on your menu. If it's going to change the behavior.
Mm-hmm. Well, we also had an ordinance to move the start time of the meeting for City Council to 5:30. That one also failed 4-3. Sounds like that could potentially be brought back with new council, though.
Yeah. I think moving the meetings to a more accommodating time is a fantastic idea. as Councilor Boston stated, there's a lot of people in the community who say, the meetings are too late. I'm in bed by the time I'd like to testify for whatever's on the agenda. And I think a 5:30 start time is doable, right? That's what time we start work sessions.
Sure.
I think that's something that we should look at in the future. Councilor Boston had some good points with the county commissioner meetings are, at 9 in the morning. And then I was also thinking every other board and commission that, is housed within the city of Pueblo, they pretty much meet at 3:30, once a month. So whether that's HARP or PEDCO or Pura meets at noon, the second Tuesday of the month. So the meetings are well within workday hours. I don't think 5:30 is unreasonable. And I think that it's not unreasonable either to have the work sessions on the first and third, have the regular meetings start on the second and fourth. It just seems like it would be advantageous to have more community members participate overall in city council meetings, because our participation is low unless it's a hot national topic. We don't get people who come, and I spoke about it at my press conference, a little over a month ago, that decisions by city council are made at 11 p.m. at night, and you really don't even know that that's going on or hear the outcome of it until like 3 days later when it's in the news or when it's on our Facebook page.
Yeah.
And so I think if we want more participation, that it has to be at times when people are able to come to the meetings. I like the 5:30 start time. I think that it makes sense.
Yeah. We'll see that probably brought forward with new council members and see what other folks have to say about it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Also, Mayor, last week we had an exciting day on Friday. It was a really cool day in Pueblo.
Yeah, it was like an advancing Pueblo Day. That's why I have my T-shirt on today.
I did notice that.
That's why I wore it.
Okay. So we first started with a museum tour at the Leonardo da Vinci Museum of North America. A little behind the scenes of the update and the work they've been doing, which was really exciting. And I know we're looking forward to them opening early spring of next year.
Yeah.
But that was a really great opportunity. And I know some folks had not been in there to see how different the space looks. So that was pretty exciting. And really just to see so many people interested in like the construction process and what's coming forward. It's been really great.
Yeah.
And then we also went out to Swisspod, which there's quite a few folks who have no idea what Swisspod is, who Swisspod is. And what was incredible was they set a world record for the fastest live test run for a Hyperloop in the world.
Yeah. Right here in Pueblo.
Yeah, 65 miles per hour, which is unbelievable. Tell us a little bit about Swisspod and kind of your involvement or what that's been like.
Yeah, sure. So I think they first contacted me about a year ago when they were doing their first Hyperloop day. Was via Zoom because they weren't here at the time, and they asked me to come out and give a welcome speech. And I had no idea what we were going out to, what the Hyperloop was. And at that time, maybe six of the tubes, I guess, were probably...
It was less than 10, I think.
In place. Yeah. You can see it right off of the highway now, how much it's grown. And it's probably a quarter mile now or half a mile.
Yeah, I think it's a little over a half mile.
Long with the track now on the inside. Before the track wasn't on the inside.
Installed or anything. Yeah, it was just the tubes and the concrete platforms.
Yeah, so, and I've got to go out a couple times in between and just seen their progress, but they had their unveiling of the Aries 1.
Yes.
Which just looks like a long, flat robot car with wires and all kinds of other things sticking out of it. You don't really, we were on the way out there and, one of our passengers was like, "Oh, are you going to ride on this thing today?" And we're not quite there yet, but eventually somebody will probably be riding on that thing.
For sure. Yeah.
So it was cool to see what's going to be traveling in the tube, and I know they had some successful runs, a couple nights before that they were sharing with me. So I'm glad that everybody got to see it live. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was incredible, and there were folks from all over the country, but also folks from around the world that were there, and I think that's one thing that's exciting as a Puebloan is to see such incredible technology tested right here in our own backyard.
Yeah, and they love Pueblo.
They do. Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean they're the investors, everybody involved in Swisspod.
They're board
they
members.
Want Pueblo to be their home, and they're super excited when they come to our community. A couple of them were staying, downtown, and they're like, "What's this Da Vinci museum? When's that going to open?" And so it's super cool that that's putting Pueblo on the map, and that way, all the way through other countries.
Right. Well, and also to see the convergence of all of the PuebloPlex and just the partnerships that are out there. I think that's pretty incredible as well.
Yep.
And exciting for us that we get to say this technology is right here in our backyard and is going to impact the world.
Right.
Yeah.
Pretty
Very
cool.
exciting. Well, Mayor, it's Thanksgiving week. We have a lot of upcoming events tonight. County Courthouse lighting. You'll be there.
I will be there.
Great.
Lucy and I are going to go check it out.
Perfect. Riverwalk lighting on Friday.
Correct.
You'll also be there.
Yep.
Great.
That's one of my favorites.
And then Pueblo Parade of Lights.
Yep, we'll also be there.
We'll also be
Freezing,
there.
but we'll be there.
Yep. Oh, yeah. It is. It's going to start to get cold this weekend.
It is, yeah.
Bundle
up.
We're excited for that one. The city is float number 8 in that one. And we'll have the municipal court float that we do every year. And then you mentioned that we also will have the town hall or the public meeting for Southern Colorado Building Department, formerly known as Regional Building. We'll have some more details about that soon. And then we also have a public meeting for the West Side Connector Project, and that is on December 3rd, and that's at Fire Station 11. So lots of upcoming events, and it's a busy season. Of course, it's busy holiday season, but still really busy for the city.
Right.
We have a lot of work to get done at the end of the year. So
State of the city. That's what you're working on.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know you shared with the chieftain last week what you're thankful for, but did you want to share with us what you're thankful for, Mayor?
Yeah, I'm thankful to still be the mayor of the city of Pueblo.
That's a good thing to be thankful for.
Thankful for all of our city employees and our staff who keep the city going. They don't get thanked enough, And also thankful for my friends and family and my little Lucy girl. And we look forward to being out in the community all week and enjoying some of the lifelong traditions in Pueblo.
Yeah.
Like the parade and the Riverwalk lighting. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, they're fun. They're fun annual traditions. It's hard to
Everybody
believe.
comes back to town. It's like people are already in town, You can drive around and see all the coffee shops buzzing today. And I went by the pantry on my way into work,
packed.
and it was
This week it's packed.
full parking. I'm sure that the line at Schuster's is down the block now at this this time of the day.
Gagliano's, everybody's packed this week.
Yeah, so it's a great time for the community.
Yeah, it really is. Great. Well, we want to say happy Thanksgiving to everyone, and we're thankful for our listeners.
Yes, we're thankful for our listeners.
I had to put that one in there.
Thanks.
So, but we are going to be closed on Thursday and Friday, but then we'll be back next week.
Yep.
Don't forget, you can find this podcast on Buzzsprout, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you get your podcast. You can email us your topic suggestions or questions, mayor@pueblo.us. And we wish you a happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you next week.